getting constant mule production and more SCVs out of it, so I like that move. It's something more and more Terrans should be doing.
Hold on, looks like we're going to see some dual-pronged hit here. These Hellions running in, going to take out some of these Lings, killing down the destructible rocks at the third. And at the same time, the Banshees, oh, looks like the Banshees not going to come in. I was hoping they would come in at this natural, do a little bit of damage. Looks like they're just going to push up this front.
Yeah, and these Mutalisks are going to stop this. Interesting place to unload them there. Right in the middle where they can't escape, but these Banshees are actually going to go down too. These Mutas just cleaned up everything.
They certainly did. That is great timing on the Mutas by Ryze. But of course, look at this. Fantasy already prepared, has got turrets down, you know, in all the good places. He does have some vulnerable add-ons on these production structures, but should be able to run, you know, things over in time. And look at this. Ryze opting to get 4 Mutalisks, and then he's just going to spend his gas elsewhere.
Yeah, they are flying in now, trying to do a little harass, but they are being greeted by some turrets.
Oh, I'm sorry, I did not see his other Mutas in production. He is up to, it looks like, almost 16 now. Those Marines got to be really careful. That is a lot of Mutalisks.
Yeah, and they're kind of delayed Mutas. I feel they were a little bit later than normal. Maybe I'm off on that, but he's just now putting down his 3rd hatch over at the 6 o'clock position there. Fantasy's actually been on 3 base now for about a minute, maybe a little bit more, so he's in a really good position. So Baneling speed is being researched, however, for Ryze, and that always helps.
Certainly. It looks like we actually have a double expand out of Ryze, one to the 6 o'clock and then one to, what is that, the 4 o'clock or something? Look at this Zergling counterattack at the 3rd base. You know, gonna go in, gonna deny mining, and this, look at this, pulls the army of Fantasy out of position while these Mutas come in, picking off a reactor. But ooh, a Thor out. Thor's, of course, very good against Mutalisks with that splash damage, going to put an end to some of this Mutalist harassment wherever that Thor is.
Yeah, I really like that Ling counterattack there. That 3rd was actually pretty much vulnerable, and the nice thing too is they actually saw that command center floating, so he knows he's going to try to take this 4th, and those Mutas can really put a stop to that. And we do have Terran Fantasy pushing out here. Pretty solid force of siege tanks, Marines, couple medevacs, and a Thor in the back.
And look at this, we do see 1-1 and Stim are done as well as siege mode, so I believe I was correct in that assumption that we would be seeing a push there. Look at this, taking out Overlords with these Marines. That is going to severely hurt you know, Ryze's. But oh my goodness, we have a push coming in, and that Thor gonna get isolated. Those Banelings suiciding on the tanks. Look at the Marine spread. Oh my goodness, Fantasy seems to have cleaned up all the Banelings without losing Marines.
Yeah, really nice micro. The tanks did their job, killed off a ton of Banelings there without the infantry taking any damage. And from this point, he can really just push up here and do as much damage as he wants until the next round of Banelings is worked. And even then, he's losing so much right now.
These Marines easily going to be able to take out this hatch. The Mutalist there, not able to take on that many Marines. Gonna go in and try for it anyway, but losing a couple Mutalists, he has to pull back. And Fantasy, oh, Baneling's coming in again, and oh, losing the Marines. A little bit of miscontrol from Fantasy, but he has done so much damage, killing off so many drones at that expansion. And if we look back and see what Fantasy is up to, look at this. His, you know, his 4th base going down. Planetary almost done, 3 turrets going up. That is almost harass proof. But Fantasy, non-stop aggression, still has a Thor, still has Marines, and a siege tank at the front.
Yeah, I would have liked to see him pick that hatchery that he's actually about to kill now at the natural off the last time when he had all those injured Marines. Just maybe focus fire down and then just pull back, and instead of losing all those units like he did. But as you mentioned, he's still in a really good position. Marines just in here doing whatever they want. And the 3rd is very vulnerable as well, so he could get in there and kill a lot of drones. Look
at this, stimming just a group, running them over, picking off another Queen, and this Thor gonna get magic boxed by those Mutalisks, and the GG out of Ryze. Too much aggression out of Fantasy ends the game.
Yeah, solid push. He was down to 42 drones behind. His Mutalisks didn't have any upgrades. He was pretty much down to 2 bases that were saturated. I guess he did have his 3rd saturated, but had he had those Banelings a little bit sooner and maybe had a better angle and not let those tanks siege right away, that battle could have gone differently. But pretty solid Marine micro there when it did go down.
That was some absolutely amazing Marine micro out of Fantasy. I haven't seen stuff like that since GSL, watching Foxer play, watching Marine King play, and splitting against the likes of Kyrix. That was great to see. You know, Fantasy, of course, a very, very strong micro-based player, but, I mean, if we look at his macro, his money is still low. He's pumping units, has another push on the way, so a macro beast as well.
Yeah, definitely, and that's why we're happy to announce that we will be seeing him at MLG Anaheim. He will be competing.
Certainly, we will be seeing both Fantasy and Shinya, actually two of the top players from Lzuruha at MLG Anaheim, so stay tuned for that. They will be in the open bracket, and hopefully one of them is going to make it through for us.
Yeah, definitely. I think with that, though, we're going to go ahead and bounce out of here. Gwen, I'll let you say the closing comments. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and like I said, or we've mentioned in the past, just... you know, hit us up on Twitter at GRStarcraft, and also on YouTube. You can find us at GRStarcraft, as well as Lzuruha Media on YouTube. That's where a majority of our videos, especially the ones that we cast for Lzuruha, are at your disposal.
Certainly, and I think with that, we're going to go ahead and bounce off. As Rohans mentioned, follow us on Twitter, follow us on YouTube, and stay tuned as we have more big announcements right around the corner.